So this segment is the creator and the strategy. What are some challenges you face as a creator?
Challenges I face as a creator. I mentioned longevity with campaigns, and that's because it can sometimes be very hard to predict your cash flow and predict your earnings, especially like during Q1, Q2. So that's the biggest challenge, especially when you go full time. If you have like another job on the side that you can fall back on, that's okay. But a lot of the time you're like, I don't know when my next gig is, and you just finished, that windfall type of work. That's the toughest thing. But I'd say that, there's a tax to everything, right? So the good part is the freedom you do get because you're not in an office all day. So even though you're sometimes worried, like I've got expenses, it's fun because you're not rigid every single day, 9 to 5. Yeah. Same to you. What are the challenges that you face as a creative?
Just always wondering what's next. You can't be comfortable at all.
Yeah.
You're just like, what's next? What am I going to do tomorrow? You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Because you post one thing, it does great. And it's like, okay, what am I posting next?
Tomorrow.
What brand am I working with next? So, yeah, it's just always thinking about the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sidebar. Because your content is so colorful and well thought out, do you get creative block? Because from the outside, it doesn't seem like you ever run out of ideas.
I do get it a lot.
Really?
Yeah. It's just that when the ideas come, I write them all down. Then so I have ideas for even times when I don't have ideas.
Right, you just go back to it.
I go back, but it happens a lot.
I've tried the writing it down, but then I'll look at it again and I'm uninspired by the last idea. Because when I wrote it down, this is so good because I can hang upside down. Then in 2 months later, I'm like, why would I even think about?
Yeah,
Do you know
that
what I mean?
happens
yeah,
too.
It's this is so stupid. Why?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Okay, I'll do the next one. What are some of your techniques for growing and engaging with your audience?
I would say posting more of what they like. Yeah, so for example, there's this series I've been doing where I just talk about unfortunate experiences and people seem to love that.
Yeah.
And I have so many bad things that have happened to me. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep adding onto that. Yeah, because they like that.
There's something about tapping into satire and pain. I don't know why. Because when I see your dating ones or things about, I think there was one. I think what were you talking about? Is it Chris Brown or something? When you said when you're going to a Chris Brown concert or your husband's on stage, and the weekend.
Yeah.
You're all these people are coming to see my husband on stage. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
The techniques I've used for growing and engaging with my audience. I'll do the last part first. Engaging with my audience is something I'm trying to do better this year because all the strategists on TikTok or online, they reply to every comment, engage in the DMs. But personally, I'm a post and leave kind of person, which is not sustainable if you're trying to grow the audience. So I don't engage my audience enough to be able to give advice on that side. But in terms of growing the audience, I think I've tried to strike a balance with organic and paid content. And then, so with that, I try to create 4 pillars where I put content into each pillar, right? So I look at what I create as a person. So maybe one is travel, one pillar, one is fashion, one is grooming, one is wholesome family stuff and advice. And then within a month, I'll definitely try to put 2 or 3 of those out at least. And then you'll find that if someone comes to you for one pillar, the aesthetically pleasing with a nice voiceover from a podcast, they'll get that at least 2 times a month. So they're always going to stay there. There's someone else that just wants to know how to groom better, they'll always be there. So that kind of helps me keep growing the audience because they don't drop off because they're not getting why they started following me for the first time.
One new thing I've seen that's great with engaging with your audience is, the broadcast channel thing on Instagram.
Really? Really? I just get overwhelmed with all these new developments.
It's worked great for me and I see so many creators doing it. And
really?
Yeah.
The channel, right? Because I always say you've been invited to this person's channel and I just keep...
Yeah, it works great for me to find out what people want to see from me. Yeah.
So what do you post on there?
Just your daily life. It could be a behind the scenes into your life. Maybe
pictures.
Yeah, you could post pictures. You could ask questions.
Didn't even know this.
Yeah, and so lately, one way it's helped me is that the people in my channel told me that they love my humor and they would like for me to also add some valuable content but still have my humor in it.
Yeah.
And just hearing that from people has
Yeah.
helped, because I was thinking of doing that, but I was like, I wouldn't be as funny as I used to be to them. So hearing it from them,
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
it's
It kind
like,
of gives
okay,
you that
now
extra.
I can, yeah,
Yeah. How often do you post there?
just randomly,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I'm going to try do that. And because my
Yeah.
engagement needs to be better with my audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have like, you take content every single day, so you
Yeah.
could just post. Yeah.
Just repurpose it,
Yeah.
basically. Okay. I'm going to ask you more about that afterwards.
Yeah.
What is your creative process when receiving a brief and working with a brand?
So for me, the first thing is I look at my life, and if I have any story that relates directly to what they want to see, yeah. Because I like, my content is more of like storytelling, so that's the first thing I think about, like what story in my life that people can relate to
Yeah.
would I be able to share through this
Yeah.
brand.
And then you just make it way more dramatic, I've noticed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
What about you?
sorry, there's one more video, sorry. At Christmas time, what was the caption? Where you're sort of like sat there in different places in the house and your family's walking past you.
Oh, that. It was when you go for a family gathering thing and find out that someone you've been talking to, like dating, is actually your cousin. And that happened to me, but not in that way.
Oh,
But it was in high school. This guy that I had we had a crush on each other, and we would stare at each other. We would
no words, just staring, no words.
no words, just staring at each other. And if I caught him looking, I would look away and whatever.
Amazing.
And then, so on Parents' Day, we saw our parents talking, and they're like, "Oh, have you met your cousin?" And
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Gosh. So it was actually from real life. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How's he doing?
Well, he's my cousin.
Anyway.
Yeah. What's your creative process when receiving a brief from working with a brand?
So I'm not as organized as people might think I am. So I'll have a brief, right? So there's two ways it happens. I'll read a brief and straight away I'll be like, okay, that's how I'm going to do the video. Like, I don't even think about how to create it. Or I'll sit with the brief, I'll be like, okay, noted, I need to make this video within the month for a beverage brand, right? And then just as I'm going about my day, or normally in the shower, or just like before I go to bed, it'll be at the back of my mind and I'll see something and I say, okay, how can that spiral from there? Example was the other day I was watching, it's this like murder, what's it called? Fool Me Twice on Netflix, right? And there's like a scene where these cops like interrogating someone. And in my head, I was like, the next time I have a brand that needs a concept, then I can always weave in this. You know that dramatic interrogation scene where they're like, where's the this? You can, if it's like a detergent brand,
Yeah.
you can be like, how are you so clean? And then you just spiral from that.
Yeah.
So I'll always have something at the back of my mind, but I never write it down. It's just, I'm not organized.
I think
like
that's
that.
another thing about creators. You get inspired by everything you see,
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
like, yeah, I'm gonna do this
Yeah,
one
yeah,
day.
yeah. Do you like take other people's, do you see someone else's content and then just adapt it as well? Really?
A lot,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I don't know, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
Like when I see, even like a trend, I struggle doing a trend unless it's like a recap thing. I don't know.
Well, I feel like you don't have to follow every trend, but sometimes I see one that speaks to me, and I know how I could weave myself into it,
Yeah.
and then I would do it. Yeah.
And it's normally super effective for numbers as well, right?
Yeah.
So like once or twice drop a trend. Okay.
Yeah.
So trend and broadcasting is my thing for this year. Okay. Oh, we have a game.
Using what you've just said, talk us through your creative process from concept to execution on one of these briefs in 60 seconds. Car ride sharing. The aim is to encourage people to book a journey using our ride sharing service through a 30-second to 1 minute video. Concept example, you're running late to an interview, you're going to a fancy event where you don't want to drive, or you're on the way to the airport. Deliverables, one video sharing on both TikTok and Instagram, one story set of 3 slides, and a bonus question is, what would your rate be for this?
So just to be clear, it's a cab app, and you're emphasizing the fact that you can use this to save time.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I want to tap into the time aspect, right? So I would use myself as kind of like the satire, because I typically take a long time getting ready, and my audience knows that, right? So I would have somebody that keeps texting me, like just making sure, maybe my sister, like just making sure you're like at this place. And I'll keep saying the same phrase to put in people's minds. I'm like, it's so fine, we're fine. Like, it's so fine, we're fine. So she'll be like, have you remembered to iron your shirt before you leave? Because remember, we have to be there by 6:30. And I'll be like, yeah, it's so fine, we're fine. But I'm actually sat there on the TV just like chilling, right? Then another text comes in and you can see the time like ticking. Another text comes in and then she's like, remember, you need to pick up your jacket from the dry cleaner before you. And I'm like, it's so fine, we're fine, right? And then this time I'm like getting in the shower gradually. And then it's looking, and then on the parallel, you can see her like really stressed out, getting ready. And then she gets in the car, maybe with like her boyfriend or a family member. And then, wait, oh God, I got so excited. I forgot we were timed. Can we do it one more time? It's so fine, we're fine. This is the problem with not being, sorry, I thought 60 seconds. I forgot. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to just summarize what I was going to say in 60 seconds. Okay. Essentially, 2 screens, one person's really organized, they're getting ready, and they're like really on time, right? And then they keep texting me updates, when are you going to be ready? And I keep texting them like, it's so fine, we're fine, I have time. So I'm doing different things and lying to them that I'm actually at this certain place. But then they take like a normal car, and then I'll just book the cab, but they have to wait for their friend to get picked up. So by the time I get there, I actually beat them, and I'm like all dressed, and they're like, how did you get there? I'm like, never mind. Then I'll be like, it's so fine, we're fine at the end. And then like the taxi app would like come up basically to show that I took the taxi, you didn't, and I got there before you. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, what would your rate be for this?
So that would be for one video that would go
on TikTok and Instagram,
on TikTok.
And one story set of 3 slides.
Okay, so what I'll do, because there's multiple deliverables, I'll make a package. So I'd say, okay, you can get the Instagram and TikTok. They'll be charged individually, but in the stories, I'll give you as a value add because you're making multiple deliverables. So for the IG video, it'll be like $1,800 to $2,000. And then for TikTok, my audience is less. So it'll be like $800 around there. And then the stories will be a value add. But then you'd negotiate, obviously. Yeah. And ask for multiple deliverables like later on too. That was fun. So now it's your turn. So a vegan skincare brand is launching. It's luxury gifting natural gift scents and wants the creators to share the message of sharing, being close to their loved ones, themselves, or the spaces around them in a creative way. It shouldn't be longer than 30 seconds. So some examples of the content. It can be a surprise gift for your favorite person or a self-care ritual for yourself in the bathroom. And then the deliverables are one video on TikTok and Instagram with 60 days of boosting. So
for this, I would look for a personal story, and for me, I would use a breakup because that's when I feel like girls feel at their lowest and they would need to love themselves more. So maybe I would talk about breaking up and how to love yourself through that process and remind yourself that, you don't need that man. So, yeah, and it would be like a guide. So maybe buy yourself flowers, maybe, I don't know, meditate. And then I would now include that luxury skincare brand into the whole process of like how to get over a breakup and get in touch with yourself. Yeah. Oh, I'd watch that. You actually listen to the timer. Okay. So if that video is for Instagram and TikTok with 60 days of boosting, how much would you charge brands? Maybe $2,000 to start with. Yeah, I don't know. 2,000, yeah. For the video to go with the boosting for 60 days. With the boosting, see, that's a problem I've been having. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to charge for that. Oh, for boosting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because this is for 60 days. So normally I think I'd charge like 30% of what the video costs for the boosting. So say if it's obviously like $1,000, then you charge them $300 per 30 days. Yeah, so it'd be like your 1,000 plus 600. That's how I would do it. Okay. Personally, yeah. Because I look at it similar to UGC because they're putting money behind your video, so you should be paying them for the same service. Because in my head, they would go for like, they could have done a whole video shoot and spent loads of money for that same ad, but you're giving them your time shooting it. Yeah. So yeah, even the 30% of the original price I think is good, but that's how I'd
start. Because what I found as well.
I only recently found out that
Yeah.
you're supposed to even charge for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, now people should know. But the thing is, I think, I don't know how it is in LA, but like here, like UGC, boosting, etc., is really like overlooked. Like I had conversations with brands where I'm like, this is my fee, and because you've asked for this, it's extra. And they were like, no, because you're making a video for us, so we should be able to use it. I'm like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
If you want to make a video, go make a video, make a concept. But if you want me to be in your video and you want the same skill that I put on my page on yours, then there's a fee attached to that. So yeah, I think especially in this
sometimes
market.
brands don't even tell you that they're gonna do that.
Oh,
So,
yeah. That's now legal.
Yeah.
That's like a legal conversation. Yeah, I've got very people close to me that's happened to as well. Hopefully this conversation, guys like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So we're not the only people. What has been your experience when it comes to collaborating with brands? You've touched on it a bit.
I have, but I need to talk about like a problem we face as humor creators,
Preach.
because we're always crying in each other's DMs.
Really?
So most of the time, brands would come knowing what kind of content you post, and they're like, yeah, we like how authentic and relatable you are. But then when you put that into their content, it's like, no, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So I had that experience with a skincare brand. And personally, I know if I just posted myself using the skincare and nothing else, that wouldn't get any engagement.
Yeah.
You know? So we face that a lot as humor creators. And so that's why for me, creative freedom is such a big thing.
This makes sense. Yeah. And the thing that frustrates me about that is you came to me because of what I've created already. So I want to continue creating that with your thing.
Yeah.
And my audience came here for the same reason. So why are we, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
That must be very frustrating. Is there any, in terms of like money and human creatives, are you taking it as seriously as like a business creator or like a family creator? Do they kind of
say we are.
Really?
Yeah.
Even in negotiation, they expect to see somebody like just laughing through a briefing or
They really don't take you. People don't take you seriously in general. Yeah.
I think one of the best things for you would be to have somebody that's like does the conversations for you to give that barrier, so you can still be. It doesn't like tarnish the humor.
Finding that right now.
Yeah, or just pretend to be someone else. Just pretend to be someone else on your email.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
My email.
Regards management. Like. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Right.
Okay, what's your experience?
My experience when it comes to it's a range. It's a broad question, so I'll just say the good and then the bad, right? So my experience collaborating with brands has been the bigger brands have often had so much more like red tape, people to get through, long onboarding processes, the creative freedom is not there. And then after all that, the budget is way smaller. So my best engagements have been when I'm dealing with somebody quite high up in the company already. They sign off quickly. It's me and you talk. Yeah, this is your business. Cool. You're the owner. I'm the owner of my business too. So let's have a conversation quickly, right? But the only good thing about the bigger brands on that side is that you can get quite good longevity. So you take the good with the bad where, okay, maybe it's not great with pay, but you're giving me rent for how many, like 3 months, right? So there's been that. The downside as well I've seen with the Kenyan market specifically, I can only speak to us, is that there's a lot of gigs and collaborations that just go to people that are in the same group chat, which is very frustrating.
I've seen that.
Yeah, right? Because you could see somebody doing a gig and you're like, I really appreciate you as a creator, but I know 10 people that align with this so much more.
Yeah.
But then I see you partying with a brand manager, so I know how that's happened, right?
Yeah.
It's been annoying where you've had to make it undeniable that they have to go with you. That's been my mindset. Like even if I'm not friends with brand managers, the only time I've had good collaborations is when my work has been so good that they, even if they don't want to use me, they have to use me, and then you do a good job and it kind of carries on. And then once that's done, you get chosen over their friend because they want to get a good report to their owners. Yeah. So that's been my experience with collaboration. Yeah. So yeah, here and there.
I remember there was one specific creator that I saw getting every single thing, and I was like, why? And then later I found out that they were like really close with one of the brand managers.
Yeah. Like I've had candid conversations on the phone where someone's like, let's just come do lunch and talk about it. And I'm like, no, let's email, like, because I think there's that, they want to take it out of the office. And then there's maybe other stuff that goes on. So the collaboration sometimes to me has been, it's been a bit tough because you don't know if you're going to get the gigs that are right for you. And then when you see them elsewhere, it's a bit disheartening. Yeah. But to end on a positive with that one, the best times is when it's been kind of like on a whim, like, oh, we've got a really quick campaign. Can you quickly do this? You do a really good job. And then they're like, okay, there's so much more coming because of that quick engagement. That's the good side. When there's not much time for them to negotiate or look for somebody, that's when it normally works out quite well.
Yeah, I could say my positive because mine was only negative. I could say that it would be when they wanted to work with me for just one thing and they end up liking what I did and they're like, okay, we have more coming up. What do you think about this?
So true.
So I like that.
Okay. Are you with management or are you an independent creator?
I am independent, which so many people have come to my DMs saying, oh, you have such a good manager. Yeah, which is like, okay, I don't know if that's supposed to be...
That's definitely a good thing, yeah. It means you're standing on business, like, on your own, though. Like, you're managing to negotiate and talk to individuals.
Yeah, okay.
Damn. Do you want to have a manager or no?
I do.
Yeah.
I just feel like I just need to create. But I find myself doing like 5 million different things. I want to have...
I recommend highly, like, even if it's not a manager, even if it's just like assistants, right? Because I think my word last year was delegation, and from doing that, my creativity has like remained intact.
Yeah.
So I recommend doing it this year for sure.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm not managed, but I have like people within my team that assist me basically. But in terms of, okay, so my podcast, we're looking to get managed, right? We want to get managed for that side because it's not as creative, and there's a bit more, it's a different kind of product. So on that side, yes. But me as an individual, when it comes to negotiating, I'm not the face of negotiation. It's my PA that does that, and we discuss everything internally. But I don't get managed where people go and do outreach for me. We just do it within the team, basically. Yeah. But it's quite rare in Kenya. I've not seen many people with management in Kenya as of yet.
I've seen few, but not...
It's few.
And it's more creators who are also in the entertainment industry that I see having that.
More influencers than creators that I've got management,
So how do you work on building creator relationships?
I don't anymore. I'll be honest, I don't. I used to. So when I first started, I was new to the industry and new to the country. So you have to do like double the legwork to kind of get in the rooms and like know who does what so that you can call in favors, etc. But I've realized when there's friendships linked to work too much of the time, it can compromise the work because you can go on a trip, something happens and you don't really want to work with this person, or you hang out too much. So I've actually tried to be more scarce as a creator and just stay within my team and then stay within like my family. But when it comes to, being like having relationships with another skincare or another grooming creator, I don't really do that. And if we're collaborating, let's collaborate, let's shake hands, let's have lunch and let's dip.
I have the same experience because I started out as a TikToker and the minute I started just hanging out with other TikTokers, it actually like...
Yeah, there's a fine line between it's beneficial then detrimental. Yeah, I think so. What happened? Next card.